Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, you are welcome, and if you are returning subscriber, thank you so much for watching this video. So today I have an exciting interview with Dr. Dodoo, and I'm very excited to have this interview with him. So I know you are going to learn a lot and you are going to be entertained. So let's start with the interview. Hello, Doctor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you so much for honoring this invitation, and I'm privileged to have this meeting with you. Yeah, taking time off your busy schedule to have this time with me. I am very appreciative of it. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, mister.
Yes. So, Doctor, can you give us a little introduction of yourself?
Wow. This is a very interesting question. Introduction. When they ask you to introduce yourself, I remember when we were kids in school, they asked you to write myself. You don't know where to start from. You write, my favorite color is, my favorite food is, and all that. Right. But I think the name identifies a person. So my name is Samuel Dodoo. I'm a physicist. I did my PhD in physical chemistry here in Berlin, so you can call me Dr. Dodoo. So the doctor is academic doctor, not medical doctor. Yeah. Personally, I'm somebody who is open. I'm a family person. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Josephine, and we have 4 wonderful kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. So that is a bit about myself. Currently, I live here in Berlin, and I've been here for roughly 21 years now. And I'm a child of God. I believe in God. I believe in Trinity, God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. I live my life as best as I can according to the Holy Book, the Bible. So that's a bit about myself, except you want to know more.
Wow, but that's so impressive. But I'd like to add that Doctor is from Ghana. He came from Ghana to Germany. So the first question is, why did you come to Germany?
Right, you're right. I came from Ghana and came to Germany because I first had an internship or a practical training here in Germany in the year 2002. And this was in the city of Leipzig, somewhere in Saxon, to do a research in an aspect of light emitting diodes. Now we call them LEDs. That time it was not very popular. It was still in the system, but it was being researched intensively to see their properties so that one can use them and increase application. Now you can see in almost every area we see the LEDs. They are very easy to be used. They are more brighter than the conventional lamps, and yeah, they consume less energy, and they don't get warm quickly as the conventional lamps get. So these are all the advantages of LED. This is what the research I was doing then, way back. So that brought me here for the first time. I studied at KNUST, and I had a chance to come here. So after my first degree, I decided now finally I want to be here, and I came back again. And that's I really got to Germany. That's my story.
And so the internship was during your studies in tech?
It was when I was almost finishing at tech, and then so I came was I was about finishing at tech, and afterwards I decided, oh, I like the system here. It was different from what I had. Maybe I was lucky because coming at the first time I was scared because I was told Germans are very racist, and yeah, you know, all the stories we read about Hitler and all that, and East Germany in particular, you know. So I quite remember I went to ask my uncle then that I have had opportunity. I'm having opportunity to go to Germany, to go to Leipzig, and where is Leipzig? I knew of big cities like Berlin,
Yeah.
Hamburg, Düsseldorf, but then,
Yeah.
Leipzig.
Yeah.
But thank God, he was also very, exposed. He had traveled a lot, and he had even been to Leipzig before. So he was able to. He studied medicine in Austria. So he had been to Leipzig before. He remember. He told me that Leipzig is known for book trade fair. There's a lot of there's a particular book trade fair they hold year to year, and it's well known. And yeah, it's one of the old universities is also located in Leipzig. And when it comes to Leipzig, one remembers also Johann Sebastian Bach, the composer of this classic music, symphony. So Leipzig is, known then, but not much as to the regular, typical Ghanaian who want to travel abroad.
Yeah.
No. I wasn't really thrilled. But to my surprise, when I came, my hosts were very friendly. They were very, very open. They were accommodating. They took me around, and my professor too was very nice. One professor, Geschke, then I don't know whether he's still active. He was old then. I can guess now he's way back in retirement. Yeah, they took me around, and it was nice. And because of that, I was able to really love the city. And during that time, I also had a chance to come to Berlin to visit, because Leipzig and Berlin is about 230 kilometers away from one another. And I saw Berlin. I fell in love with Berlin. Now the friend took me to the most nice places in Berlin. We went to the Brandenburger Tor, to some of the, I think then there was an Egypt museum or something where the Nefertiti's was there. Went to Charlottenburg, the Charlottenburg, the castle. We went to Sanssouci City. There was where one of those time the Prussian kings lived. So in fact, I just loved it. It was a 3-day visit in Berlin. I love Berlin. I was like, wow, I'm gonna come back again.
Yeah. But
So
doctor, how did you even hear of this internship opportunity and
right.
the application process? How was it like?
Yeah. So back in Ghana, when I was at Tech, I was somebody who was very active in extracurriculum activities. I took my study serious. I like to study, but at the same time, I was active in social groups, in clubs and all that. So there was one student exchange group called ICE. It is meant to exchange students between countries in different fields, especially in the sciences, also in the social sciences. And the German Academic Exchange was sponsoring, so they were really, and they had country reps and also directors, and they hold yearly conventions or conferences. And when they go to such conferences, they distribute. So what they do is that students from the local universities look for jobs, student jobs, or maybe research or internships. Some are a month to 3 months, normally 3 months, or some to 6 months, depending on the kind of research. And then they will make this available to the pool, and all countries will bring their pool. So when they go to the the convention, they try to exchange. So the Ghanaian universities bring their research. So I don't know whether you realize in Ghana, then you see some white coming
Yes,
down,
yes.
students coming
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do
I do.
programs
Yeah,
and
I
like that. These
remember.
are sometimes like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
medical students, or sometimes maybe social students they are coming to do.
Yeah.
These are the programs that we find for them, and they also intend they find also projects like that for also people who are from Ghana and other African countries. So when they exchange, then they make it available, and if you are interested and you are qualified, they look at your course of study, your understanding, your which year you are, and the project requirements. If you match, they just offer it to you, and then that's it. So that is how I got to.
Got it. But was the competition tight?
It was, because there are many students, you can understand, and not the programs were not that many per year. So it's just, I would say, it's the grace of God. And I wouldn't say that I was the outstanding student. No, it wasn't that, because they don't look at your CWA or your credit score or stuff. No, it's just one is your background. So if the program is requiring somebody with physics, then of course you have to look at the physics students and who is active and who is committed, and also it comes with some financial demand also. So who is also in a position to pay for it, and so these are the requirements that they were looking at.
Okay, so after you came to Ghana and you completed your bachelor's degree, how did you come back here again?
Yes, it was also through the same process again. It was the same organization. Having been here once, I had also the opportunity to come here again, because the following year there was an offer for somebody to do simulation. So this is a bit of physics and also engineering. And the project was about trying to understand the material properties of some products. This was a federal institute. The first one, which was in Leipzig, was at the University of Leipzig. But the second one was not at the university, but rather it was a federal institute. So here in Berlin, it's called Bundesanstalt für Material Forschung und Prüfung. So it's a Federal Institute for Material Research and Examination. So, for example, if you are a manufacturer of a product like maybe a door frame, so before they give you the permit to market your product, it's like typical like Ghana Standard Board, whereby they test and make sure your products have the standard, the qualities, So that is where they do those kind of tests. So my work was basically to do simulations. They were then undertaking a research in the area of how long natural stones can stand fire before they are deformed or before they degrade, So we used different scientific programming languages to draw the whole parameters, put them under test, under stress tests, also fire tests, on all those, and then look at the parameters and then try to observe the behavior, gather the data, put them, and then kind of try to draw models to interpret the results and then make recommendations as to what the results is showing. This they did to also know how to preserve monuments. So here in Germany, it's important for them to, they call something Denkmalschutz, meaning that protection of memorable sites or memorable things of history, buildings which has a lot of history or monuments, they try to protect. So this was the work that they were doing then, and I was invited to take part in it. So it was interesting. So that made me now come to Berlin. So that is my journey, the beginning of my journey in Berlin.
That's really interesting. I'm really learning a lot. What are you doing? What work are you doing?
Well, interesting. So starting with the research, then I was in academia. So of course I had a opportunity after that particular internship or that training, that scientific research. I had a chance to do my master's here in Berlin soon after, and then I had opportunity to also do my PhD. So of course, if somebody does his or her PhD, definitely you are more suited for the academia. So it paved the way for me to join my former university, which is KNUST. So I went back to Ghana as a lecturer, and then I was in the field for 5 years, I remember, And I kept, doing my work as a lecturer actively and all that, but somewhere down deep in me, I was moving more towards entrepreneurship, So, but it all started also when I was at Tech too, because I was active in the program which we call entrepreneurship training. So this, under the Vice Chancellor's office, there's an office called Center for Business Development. And this Center for Business Development also has an incubator called the KBI, so Kumasi Business Incubator. And the idea of this incubator, the KBI, is that students' ideas through their thesis that they do should not just end up after they are finished and they are printed them and then dumped somewhere in the faculties in archives, but rather the good ones, can be sampled. If the students themselves are interested, they will be given the space, they can be nurtured, they can be trained, they can be given exposure, and if possible, those ideas can be worked on and then they can be made ready for the market, either it's product or service. And then these products or service can be scaled up and then be entered into the market. In some cases, we even try to get seed capital for the incubatees before they come out. So we try to give them all the necessary. So that is when I was very active in this program or part of this center. And during my 5 years there, I was very active. I thank God for people like Dr. Ralph Nyaduado, who then was the head of the Center for Business Development. He was a very good friend. I mean, we are still good friends, and he pulled me to himself. And also, if I'm sure, Mr. Sam Akumia, or probably he might be Dr. Sam Akumia by now, I'm sure. He is the head of the KBI currently, I remember. And yeah, we were working together, and there were other students as well. These were people who they were lecturers and also senior staff managers, and together we were managing the CBD and the KBI, and it gave me a lot of interest to this area of trying to be creative, come out with a service or a product, and then go into the market. So that is how it started. And when I came back from Germany, from Ghana, that was 2017. So I'm in my 6th year after I returned, and I started my own company here, and my company is offering services. So what we offer is mostly in the industry. We offer construction management, all sort of planning, engineering services for construction industries. I mean, building machinery, power plant, building sites, managing the sites, and also project management and program also management, as well as process management. If you have a process, you want to optimize the process, we have different tools which we use to help your system. And so that is around my own company, and this is what I do.
It's an amazing idea. I've never heard of it before.
Oh, it's there. It's still running.
It's still running.
It's still running. Yeah.
But like, is it working? Like, I know you've done your best, but like, do the people have the resources they need to kind of start the projects?
Yeah, I can speak of one or two success stories during the time. As I said, I wasn't the head, but I was assisting them, and we had incubatees. The names I can't remember, but there was this. I remember one. There was either a lady and her friend. They came out with a software or so which looked for hostels. Hostels in the area. At that time, accommodation, I think it's still a problem now because the universities admit more students than the conventional halls. And then also there were private hostel, managers who were having hostels around. So how to locate a hostel through the software and the prices and comparing them, just like typical thing like what we have the Check 24 doing, where you can check different prices, which one have an advantage, or that was a similar thing. So they had a software to look for the different hostels, the prices, the location, what are the facilities there. So before you get there, you have an idea, and it can help you to make a decision and even book a hostel and all that. So it was very good, and I think they even had a deal. They had an investor or so. One thing we also did was that we also invited, successful businessmen in Ghana who had made it and to come and talk to the students. I mean, we had a whole week where we call it the entrepreneurship clinic. So it wasn't a clinic like where you go for injection or so, but it was a clinic whereby we had hands on deck, kind of work. We bring in, established entrepreneurs in Ghana, and they come and they share their success stories, how they started, the challenges they had, and some of the, the good side